everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is honestly a total game changer for your tech career. We are going to transform you from an absolute beginner, like someone who has literally never touched version control before, into someone with a fully public, resume-ready portfolio for your AZ500 Cloud Security Lab. If you've been grinding away, working hard on your cloud skills, but kind of scratching your head figuring out how to actually show them off, well, you are in exactly the right place.
So, I want you to ask yourself a really serious question. Are your projects totally invisible to employers? Let's establish the stakes right here at the start. If you're out there crushing complex cloud security labs but you've never used GitHub, your hard work is basically invisible. The hiring manager just can't see what's sitting hidden on your laptop. But before we rush into fixing that, we have to build a really solid mental model. You see, most beginners fail because they just try to memorize a bunch of arbitrary commands. We're not doing that. We are going to build your understanding first, way before you ever even touch the command line.
Okay, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We've got 4 manageable steps. 1. The Git mental model. 2. Speaking the language. 3. Your local setup. And finally, 4. The core workflow loop. All right, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Git mental model. So, this is the absolute crucial, foundational distinction that beginners just constantly conflate. Getting this right is literally half the battle. Git is the software that lives locally, right there on your computer. Think of it like Microsoft Word's track changes feature, but, infinitely more powerful, and applied to entire folders of files all at once. GitHub, on the other hand, is simply a cloud storage website. It's the online service that stores copies of your Git-tracked folders, so other people, and specifically employers, can actually see them. So Git is the tool, GitHub is the storage service. Make sense?
Moving right along, Section 2, Speaking the Language.
We're going to do a rapid-fire translation here, turning developer jargon into plain old English. This just ensures that when we get to the actual step-by-step tutorial, everything feels completely natural. First up, the repository, or repo for short. Think of this as simply a project folder with a memory. So for our purposes, your AZ500 lab folder becomes a repo. That means absolutely everything inside it, your code, your architecture diagrams, your notes, all of it is being tracked by Git.
Next up is the commit. A commit is basically a name snapshot in time. It's a saved version of your repo at one specific moment, and it's accompanied by a really short descriptive message, something like add key vault private endpoint config. And the beautiful part? You can always travel back in time to any previous commit if you mess something up.
Then we have push. Pushing simply means uploading your snapshots straight up to GitHub. Now, the absolutely crucial point here is this. Until you push, your work only exists on your local machine. It's only after pushing that it lives securely on GitHub servers for the world to see.
On the flip side, we have clone and pull, which both involve downloading from GitHub down to your machine. Cloning downloads a brand new full copy of a GitHub repo to your computer from scratch. Pulling, however, simply brings in any new updates from GitHub that you don't already have locally. Understanding that difference is going to keep your projects perfectly synced.
Next is a branch, and it is exactly what it sounds like, a parallel version of your project. Branches let you work on fun, experimental new things without breaking your main project. Though honestly, for this beginner portfolio, we are mostly just going to stay safely right on what's called the main branch.
Finally, the README.md file. This is the welcome page of your project. It's just a simple text file written in Markdown format, but GitHub takes it and automatically renders it as a beautifully formatted front page. This is the critical space where you get to document exactly what you built for your AZ500 lab and why you built it. It serves as that all-important storefront for employers who really want to see your skills in action.
All right, Section 3, Your Local Setup.
Okay, you speak the language now, and you've got the mental model down. Let's roll up our sleeves and get your local system totally prepared. Here's the macro journey of our 6-step streamlined guide. We're going to get you fully set up, starting with just heading over to github.com to sign up for a free account.
So for step 1, I'm going to put on my coaching senior engineer hat for a second. When you create that account, pick a professional username. Seriously, use a variation of your real name, and please avoid numbers and underscores. No hiring manager out there wants to click a link for cloud_ninja_99. This username is going to become a permanent fixture on your professional resume, so you definitely want it to look sharp.
Step 2 is installing Git locally from git-scm.com.
Now, if you're on Windows, you can basically just accept all the default installation settings. Easy. On Linux, it's just a simple terminal command like sudo apt install git. But, and listen closely, here is what you absolutely must do next. You have to run the terminal commands to configure your global username and your global user email. Why? Because Git actually uses this exact information to digitally tag every single commit you make.
Moving on to step 3, authentication. When you push to GitHub, it has to know it's really you. Now you can use HTTPS, which requires typing your username and a token over and over, or you can use SSH, which uses a cryptographic key pair. I highly recommend SSH for your daily convenience. You literally just run the terminal command ssh-keygen-t-ed25519 to create a private key which you keep secretly on your machine and a public key which you just copy and paste into your GitHub settings. Once that is done, you never have to type a password to push ever again. It's amazing.
All right, steps 4 and 5, we create the repo and clone it down. You do this right on the GitHub website. Go ahead and name it AS500 Azure Security Lab. And make absolutely sure you set it to public. Employers can't see a private repo. And since your lab is just using placeholder values and deleted test resources anyway, there's no sensitive data to worry about. Add a README, hit Create, and then use the git clone command in your terminal along with your brand new SSH link to download that fresh repo directly to your computer.
And that brings us to the main event. Section 4, the core workflow loop.
This is it. This is the climax of our explainer. Everything we have done so far was honestly just set up for this specific, highly repeatable loop that's going to make up like 95% of everything you will ever do in Git. It brilliantly illustrates the actual day-to-day reality of a cloud professional, the 4-step loop. Let's drill this into your mental model right now. Step 1, you make file changes in your lab folder. Step 2, you type git add dot to select and stage all those changed files. Step 3, you type git commit -m followed by your message to actually create that named snapshot. And step 4, you type git push origin main to fire that snapshot off to the origin repository on GitHub's main branch. Change, add, commit, push. That is your new rhythm.
Now, let's talk about how this daily loop actively builds your resume. Your commit messages are literally a public log of your brain at work. You should always write them in the imperative tense, meaning give it as a command. So write add key vault private endpoint config, definitely not added stuff. Remember your ultimate end goal here. Employers actually read these messages. Every single line becomes part of your professional record, showing them exactly how you think, how you organize, and how you work.
Which brings us to a bit of an industry secret, what we call the Golden Rule from the Field Manual. Commit often. 10 small commits showing a progression of work is far more impressive than one giant commit with everything shoved into it. A rich, frequent commit history visually proves to a hiring manager that you have the disciplined, professional working habits they are desperate to hire. It shows them your entire journey, not just your final destination.
So, as you sit down to set up your AZ500 portfolio today, I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought. What will your commit history say about you? Is it going to be blank, keeping all your hard work completely invisible? Or is it going to be a rich, detailed log of a cloud security professional actively mastering their craft? You have the mental model now, you know the core loop. It is time to open that terminal and make your very first commit. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.